Wanamaker for www.thinkingstrongman.com. Here to introduce myself, kick off the new website, kick off the Facebook page, and tell you a little bit about what I hope to accomplish with the business, with the pages, with the websites, and with maybe my training as well. So for those of you who have been following my training blog, you know I've been logging my training and writing articles for 6 or 7 years now, I think. I've had articles put up on my website. They've been published by reactivetrainingsystems.com, Practical Strength for Trainers, bodybuilding.com, and Power Magazine. On my website, which is at theblogspot.com, I'll give you a link to that on the Facebook page and my website. They're kind of a mess, so I need to get those organized. That's mission 1. Mission 2 is write more articles, produce more content, share some thoughts I have in specific about block periodization and rehabilitation. It's something I've been thinking a lot about recently, especially with an emphasis on multi-year planning for the iron sports athlete. As many of you probably know, if you've looked at my Blogspot site, I was diagnosed in 2006 with an incurable disease. All my connective tissues turned to bone. That brings with it a couple interesting problems. One is, as the connective tissue ossifies, it grows in size and impinges upon other things like nerves. So I deal with nerve impingements cropping up on an ongoing basis. Ultimately, the disease will render me immobile, and potentially worse, it can impinge upon internal organs. So it's not a pretty outcome. It's certainly not an outcome that involves being active. One of the other side effects of the disease is that there's a concomitant, or there's believed to be a concomitant weakening of the underlying bone structures. So typically the disease is diagnosed in the very elderly, and one of the things that goes along with it is a very weak spine. So the spine oftentimes will literally shatter if an elderly person falls who has this disease. So the standard course of treatment, since it's incurable, is to basically do nothing, because the doctors don't want to recommend any sort of physical activity that might put your spine at risk. You can understand that. I mean, we live in a society ruled by lawyers. Where would we be without them? God love them. So when I was diagnosed in 2006, as I got back into training full bore, I was faced with a dilemma. I could listen to the doctors, who, by the way, as an aside, they initially misdiagnosed me, and it took a chiropractor to correctly diagnose my disease. Anyhow, I could listen to the doctors and not do anything, knowing full well that in 10 years or so, that I wouldn't be able to do anything. Or I could come up with a way to push myself and train smart and still reach some goals. So I chose the latter path. I mean, I want to do things. Basically, screw it, I'm maxing out. So from 2006 through today, 7, 8 years, I've been training as hard and as smart as I can. I've set some good PRs for Master Lifter, competed in Strongman. I enjoy it. I've met a lot of good people. I'm very fortunate to have chosen this path. In many ways, I'm blessed to have been diagnosed with this disease because I wonder if I hadn't been diagnosed, would I have gotten back into training and then not taken my training too seriously? You know, just kind of let it slide. Whereas now, it's pretty important to me because I know there won't be a tomorrow. So it has to happen today. Anyhow, I'd like to share with you some of the programming strategies that I've come up with over the years, focused around block periodization, focused around the concept of transition mesocycles, focused around some autoregulation principles. All of this, as you can guess, is heavily influenced by my relationship with ReactiveTrainingSystems.com. Mike Tushier has been my coach since 2008. He's done a fantastic job. I can't recommend him highly enough if you're looking for a good, solid powerlifting or strongman coach. He'll do a great job with you. And I've obviously learned a lot through him and from him about the theoretical and practical aspects of programming. As Mike puts it, there's a science to programming and there's an art to programming. I'm not focused on developing an individual's program for them, but I can help individuals get over specific plateaus or specific hurdles that they're encountering in their training. I've done that with a number of athletes, ranging from actually Mike, who was having an issue with his deadlifts, and he came back to set world records this year, ranging from Mike to some Masters Highland athletes, Highland Games athletes, to Masters Strongmen, to powerlifters, who, for one reason or another, were unable to come up with a way around a problem, a physical limitation. And I worked with them, spent some time understanding their goals, their frustrations, their limitations, and helped them move forward. Another thing I want to talk about is preventative strategies. So I have a couple videos planned with Dr. Patrick McBrearty, who is my ART and Graston provider. He's going to talk about those treatment modalities with us. All in all, I think this is going to be a good venture, a good series of videos, and I hope that we can all learn from it. And to that end, I encourage you to give me feedback, whether it's in the form of email, Facebook comments, however you want to do it. My number's on the Facebook page. Call me, okay? And in the meantime, remember, evolution matters. Train like an animal, think like a human. Thanks for watching.